Welcome to Doing Different with Kimmy, where women over 50 discuss and embrace new beginnings and share real life journeys, candid conversations, and practical insights about personal growth. Here you will find women from all stages of life doing different in their own unique and exciting journeys. Whether you're stepping out of your comfort zone, launching a dream project, or simply seeking inspiration, you'll find a community that celebrates you no matter what your age. I'm your host, Kim Baker, and each month we'll hear from inspiring women who are reinventing themselves, rediscovering their passions, and proving that life doesn't end at 50. It's just beginning. It's time to shatter stereotypes, reclaim our narratives, and show the world that age is not a limitation, but a launching pad for new possibilities. Thank you for joining us on this empowering journey because your voice deserves to be heard and your best days are still ahead. Let's reinvent together. Today, my guest is Sandy Elliott. Sandy is a retired high school music educator with 24 years of classroom experience, most recently serving as director of choirs at Cumberland University. A classically trained vocalist, she has performed in musical theater for more than 35 years and was honored as a 2020 CMA Foundation Music Teacher of Excellence for her dedication to music education. In addition to her teaching and performing career, Sandy has embraced the world of pageantry. Sandy was crowned Ms. Wilson County Senior 2023, placed first runner-up at the Ms. Tennessee Senior Pageant, was Ms. South Central Area Fairest of the Fair Senior 2025, and is the current Ms. Green Hill Senior and will represent Mount Juliet at the state pageant this year. And there is her crown, everybody. Look at that. That is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. What are the colored stones?
Green,
Emerald?
it's Miss Green Hill, so it's green, so they're
Oh,
emerald. Yes.
that's beautiful. I love it. And Sandy is newly retired and she is focusing her time and energy on health and wellness in aging adults. She is an advocate for menopause care and through her own wellness journey has learned the benefits of a proper diet for the senior body. She is continuing her education by working toward becoming a certified nutritionist specializing in meal planning for seniors. And she is also a content creator on her Ageless with Sandy group. Correct, Sandy? That's a Facebook group?
It's an Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. And she's focusing her platform on empowering women 60 plus. Beyond her professional and pageant achievements, Sandy is most proud of her family. She and her husband, Scott, her greatest supporter for 33 years, have two grown children, three grandchildren, with another one on the way, and a beloved Aussie named Maisie. And she's adorable. I've seen the pictures of her. I absolutely love her.
She's precious.
Welcome, Sandy. Thank you for being my guest tonight. I know it's late. It gets dark early too, but I so appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I appreciate you asking me.
Oh, you're welcome. So now, my first question is, can you tell us a little more about your new journey in doing different?
So it's definitely doing different because as you read in my bio, I've been a music educator for 24 years. And I'm as a retired person, what I've learned is I was very well known in my circles. I had a very successful high school choir program and college choir program. And then I retired, which is great. I was ready. I was ready to walk away from education, but nobody knows me that way. And so now I'm having to reestablish who I am. And being retired, I had taken during this retirement time, I've taken a wellness journey that has changed my life. I've learned so much and I'm learning so much and I'm doing so much differently. And all of a sudden, my eyes have been opened to health and wellness for seniors that I never realized before. And there's so many things I could tell you right off the bat, but I'll wait. And so my new journey is through health and wellness for seniors. In the midst of all of this, I've jumped into the pageant world. So never done a pageant till I turned 60. And I thought, oh, it's not my thing. I'm not a pageant girl. And I have fallen in love with the Sisters of Senior Pageanthood. And
Wow.
there's so many avenues have opened up. So I'm definitely doing things differently than I did a year ago. And I'm loving it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely doing different. I'm so glad that you love it. And I've never heard of pageants for over 60.
They just
Never.
had the Miss World pageant was just this weekend in Biloxi, and it's 50, 60, and 70-year-olds only.
Wow, that's awesome. And do you have to meet any requirements to join? Are there fees or anything like that? Or
Yes,
do you just
there's always a fee. Every pageant has a fee, and you when it's not a preliminary, like where you read I won Miss Wilson County, that qualified me for the Miss Tennessee Senior pageant, and they paid my fees. If you're not coming in as a queen from somewhere else, you apply, and you usually, unless you're currently holding a title or something like that, they're more than happy to have you as part of their pageant.
and that's statewide, all over the United States?
So they're all different pageant programs, and the Miss World is international. You can be from a
Okay.
state or you can be from a country. The one I'm in right now, the pageant program I'm in right now, is the Miss America Senior Pageant, and
Oh,
it is
nice.
in Atlantic City.
Oh my goodness, that's so nice. Just in case our viewers were wondering, in case they want to join up and do something different, I thought
Mm,
that we'd get, a little bit of
yeah.
question about that. And so, what inspired you to say yes to this new chapter of health, beauty, and boldness?
Okay. So I have always been into makeup and hair because I was so much into musical theater. I had a lot of experience with makeup and hair. And I went to school in the 80s. I didn't leave the house without makeup and hot rollers that have fixed my hair, right?
Yeah,
I didn't go to school in my pajamas like they do now. But
right.
that's right. But so I've always had that. Pageants have pushed me further into my skincare because I'm like, oh, I got to look young and vibrant on stage instead of old and wrinkly. But so there's that. So I've been a little bit more aware of my health and of my skin, but I've always fought weight issues. I was a
Mm.
chubby kid, and my whole life I've had to manage my weight, and I would lose the weight and yo-yo dieting.
Yep.
And so I was scrolling social media, and there was kind of an ad from an influencer. Her name is Dr. Mary Claire Haver. Said, "Hey, I've got a plan to help you stay out of nursing homes as long as possible." And I was like, "What is this?" And of course, I watched the whole ad, and I bought her book, The Galveston Diet, and I read it,
Wow.
and I said, "Hey, honey, I'm going to do this diet," to my husband. And he said, "Well, if you're going to do it, I'll do it too. There's no point in you cooking 2 meals every day. I'll do it too."
Oh,
And
how sweet.
yes, and it's not easy. It until you get into it and becomes a lifestyle, it takes a lot of commitment and change. But once we did it, pounds have never fallen off of me like they did on that diet.
Wow.
And
How
it's
long have you
been
been on it?
I've been on it 15 months.
No way. And I know you
15.
said earlier to me before we started recording that it's a lifestyle. It's not just a diet that you just start and then get off. It's a new lifestyle for you, which is doing different. So yeah. Wow.
Definitely. And
That's
I've lost
amazing.
30 pounds. My husband has lost 45. He is no longer pre-diabetic. He no longer has high blood pressure.
Oh my goodness. And this is in 15 months?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So anybody out there, if you're interested in getting the book, The Galveston diet, is that what it's called?
Yes, you can get it on Amazon anywhere, and it's not very expensive. Read the book first, do parts of it, do all of it, whatever you want. Me, I jumped in with both feet and did everything.
Yeah, that's something
That's
that I
just
would
who I
do too, and I definitely am going to get the book. Thank you for that information, and you look great. You look absolutely great. And so now, what does your current nutrition and fitness routine look like, and how has it evolved over time? We already talked about the Galveston diet, and you don't have to get into specifics about it, but in regards to the nutritional part, um, whether it's veggies, fruit, what does like a normal day look like to you? And what about your fitness routine? What do you do for fitness?
So, back to the normal eating routine. So, one of the things for this health and wellness program is that we fast every night. So, we have an eating window, and my husband and I eat between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And I never thought I could go after 5 and not snack and watch TV and eat. Nope, we don't eat after our 5 o'clock meal. And we eat 2 meals a day. We eat breakfast and we eat dinner. And then we have 2 snacks during the day. And the biggest thing you have to do is balance your macros. We eat 35 to 40 grams of protein every meal or every snack, with balanced fats and balanced carbs. And so
Okay.
I use a food tracker. There's a Fitness Pal on my iPhone, and I just use it and I log my food. And that took me a while. And then I'm
Right.
like, what am I doing here? What am I looking for? How does this work? And that's why being retired has been amazing. My son even said, "Oh, mom, I wish I had the time to break it down like you do every day." So
Right,
I
right.
once I understand what I'm supposed to eat and what foods make that up, I've been able to break away from the Galveston Diet book and make my own meals and my own snacks that fit the macros that you're supposed to do.
Oh,
The
nice. And your app on your iPhone helps keep track of that, correct?
Yes, yes,
Is
and
it
the
a
good thing,
what is
so
the app called?
it is called, hold on, I'm just gonna look. Um, it is My Fitness Pal, and it comes on your
Oh,
if you have, yeah, if you have a iPhone, it's on your iPhone.
yes, and I believe MyFitnessPal is also for Android users because I remember I used that app at one time a long time ago. And so wow, that's amazing. And you've come such a long way just in 15 months.
Yes.
Wow. And I'm so happy your husband's doing it with you. I have the hardest time just getting my husband to eat something healthy. He's getting there. I've gotten him off white bread at least. I try not to do wheat. Um, but I've tried, he's finally getting off the white bread, but he gets so angry because the ketchup today that you buy in the stores, it's gross. It's
Yep.
not even, it's got the soybean oil, it's got so many bad things. And he gets so upset when I say, well, you could buy something a lot better, I think it's Primal. Primal
Primal.
has
Mhm.
Primal has some pretty good ketchups and mayo and all that. And it's so hard. He's, gonna be 63, and it's hard to break the bad habit that he grew up with and just was eating anything. But he's feeling it now. He's feeling it in his knees, he's feeling it in his cognitive function. And I think it's really important that we do it. But I have to focus on me right now because I can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water.
That's
So, you know, I'm going to do me right now and pray that he gets on board. So there are little glimpses of hope. And so, um, sometimes we watch Dr. Berg
Mhm.
on YouTube. I don't know if you've heard of him before. And
Sure.
he has so many different nutritional information on certain foods and stuff. And the Bobby Approved app is also something that now he's using, and he'll scan the food at the supermarket. And if
Good.
Bobby says no, then
That's
it's
right.
no, and so,
That's right.
hey, let him listen to Bobby. I don't care as long as he's looking at the
Right.
labels.
Well, and that's crazy because I never realized that cottage cheese. I was buying the store brand, and then I looked at the label and there were 15 ingredients. And then I
Oh,
looked
yeah.
at like a daisy or one of the all naturals and there's 2 ingredients. So it's not
Yeah.
even cottage cheese.
No, I don't understand why they do that. I really don't. And I pray that the industry starts to get away and I know that some restaurants are using tallow now
Mhm.
to fry some of their French fries and stuff. So it's a little bit better than the vegetable oil, but getting away from the oils altogether, the unnatural, the unhealthy oils, the omega 6s is
Yep.
very, very important because the omega 6 causes inflammation. And I'm sure you know that.
It's all
And
in the
so
book.
it's all in the book. Get the book.
Book, yep. Well, and that's the
So,
other thing is the anti-inflammatory. This whole fitness and wellness program is an anti-inflammatory program as well. So
oh,
it's teaching you about the chemicals and the oils and all of the things and the foods that we do eat. You asked for an example. One of my favorite breakfasts is Greek yogurt with a quarter cup of walnuts, a quarter cup of blueberries and strawberries, a tablespoon of chia seeds, tablespoon of hemp hearts, and a tablespoon of flax seeds. Now,
ooh, that
I
sounds good.
and you can make it in a smoothie as well. You could do it in just a bowl or a smoothie.
I like it more in a bowl. I've been doing how do you say it? Acacia? Is it
Acai,
they're frozen strips of the
yeah.
fruit acacia
I
or
think it's called acai. I think I say acai.
acai. Well, good. I didn't know how to pronounce it, but it's very
It
good.
doesn't
And
look
I've
like
been
that,
making
though.
smoothie bowls with a sprinkle of coconut, slivered almonds, seeded granola because I don't want to do grains, and a drizzle of organic unfiltered honey. And I got to add those chia seeds, though. I'm always afraid. And for those out there that are wondering too, sometimes I've heard that chia seeds, and I'm very apprehensive. I don't want to choke if the chia seed, gets swollen up with whatever it's in. So is it okay to eat them raw, or do you have to put them in something?
You can eat them anyway. I'm not a huge fan of their flavor.
Yeah.
Uh, and they get in your teeth really bad and they do puff up. It's a great way to make puddings out of things that aren't real pudding, but they're not my favorite. I love the hemp hearts more than anything.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
why.
that's really good.
And you
Well, it's
can
got
bake,
that nutty flavor.
yes, and you can bake with ground flaxseed. There's
Hmm.
a muffin recipe in the Galveston book that my husband and I are like, how are we allowed to eat this? It's a dark chocolate raspberry flaxseed muffin. And we're like, this is so good. And it's a huge one and you get to eat it. So we've
Wow.
learned and we love it. And the other thing I've always done, but I really have focused on it is walking. Walking.
Yes.
I walk
Yes.
every single day. I did not walk today. So I say every single day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a chance to
Oh,
walk. But when I first, so I've always walked. And as a teacher, I would try to get a little bit of a walk in and try to get, 5,000 steps in. And then when I retired, I started walking more. And I now walk 50 minutes every morning. I have a
wow.
really long driveway. And if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, Ageless with Sandy, you'll see me. I'll say, good morning, welcome to my walk. And I have
Yep.
a minute just to tell you what I'm doing or what's going on or something I've learned today. And it amazes me the people that like, I love your walk in the morning. I feel like I'm with you. I'm like, oh, I've had former students who live in Wyoming now. She's like, I love your walk. I get to know what you're doing. And I see Mrs. Elliott.
Aw,
It's so
so
sweet.
nice. And you've really motivated me to do that too. The only problem that I have is the neighborhood that we're in right now. We've only been here for 10 years. We had another home for 20 years, and that was such a better neighborhood. And I don't like going out alone, so I'm trying to get my husband to come with me, but that can't be every day. But I used to walk all the time, but I was run over in 2012 by my own van. So everybody out there, please pay attention to put your vehicle in park before you get out of it and walk around the back of it.
Mhm.
It's amazing that I still have my leg
Yes.
and because I was completely run over. It's amazing I don't have a broken rib, but um so it's a little hard. We do go to Disney quite a bit down here in Florida, and the walking can put a toll, and then I will have sometimes some inner bleeding under the skin. So
Wow.
unfortunately, I can't do a lot of walking like I'd like to because I used to really enjoy it, but I do have a vibrating plate
That's
that I
great.
stand on for the circulation. And they say that if you I think it's 20 minutes. I do 10 right now. I think 20 minutes is like going for a walk. I don't know how long, but they say it simulates that. I'm not sure. Do you know anything about
I've
that
heard
at all?
good things about it and that it does do better, but I don't know the equivalency with walking. But,
Right.
you know, even if you can do 10 minutes after each meal, that
Yes.
helps with your blood sugar. And that's something I've been trying to get my mother-in-law to do. She has type 2 diabetes. And I'm like, you know,
Mm,
right, 3 minutes right now. If you'll just walk for 3 minutes, and then eventually you'll do five, and then 10, and 10 is enough. 10 minutes after every meal would make, that's 30 minutes a day for her.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we really do got to get moving because, and it also helps with our gut. And it
Yes. Yep.
helps to burn fat. And so, yeah, you're an inspiration to me. I see you posting every day. And also you post something about oh my goodness, I can't remember something
Are you
on
took
Mondays.
my Makes Me Mad Mondays.
Yes, makes me mad Monday. That is so cute. I love it. So you guys need to follow Sandy. She really keeps the spirits up and she's very encouraging and I love it. I really do. Now, Sandy, let me ask you this. Were there any myths at all about aging and health that you had to unlearn?
So, I don't know if I had to unlearn them or I just had to educate myself more.
Yeah.
So the last 10 years I was teaching, I had gotten back up in my weight to the top of the point that I was comfortable. I'm like, if I go any further, I'm going to be really upset with myself. And I was fighting. I was like, I just need to lose 20 pounds, and I could not lose it. And it was
Mm,
starting to get in around the middle. And I'm pear shaped, and my waist has always been my best part. I've always had this little tiny waist, and it was starting to gather on the middle. I'm like, oh, here it comes. It's what my mom had. Here it comes. My
mhm.
joints were achy. I would lay in bed at night and my hips would be like, oh, I got to move. My hips ache. And I thought I sound just like my mom.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this is hereditary. This is the body that I was given because my mom's family was like this. And then I started researching. Like I said, I read the Galveston diet, and then I read um, Danielle Lyon's book on strength and muscle training. And I started listening to Dr. Vonda Wright, she's the reason I work out twice a week at the gym and lift heavy, heavy. I am now lifting 30 pounds with a barbell over my head,
Wow,
and I'm
amazing.
squatting with um, 30 pounds in each hand and twice a week. And it's that the diet, I hate to say the diet, but the wellness plan that I'm on, the way I eat and nourish my body, I no longer have achy joints. That middle is gone. So when women say, I haven't done anything different. I can't get rid of this weight. It won't go away. If you'll read the book, and all of these books, Estrogen Matters, all of these things talk about why redistribution of fat, what our bodies are doing and why they're doing it, and why nothing we've been doing up until this point has worked. And that's kind of the myth, oh,
Yes.
calories in, calories out. Nope. And we also need to focus on strong, not skinny.
Yes.
And we need to eat lots of food. If we eat the right, good, whole, natural foods, we can eat tons of food. Our body needs it.
Yes,
So
and protein fills you. It's what do you satiating? Is that how you say it?
satiating or
Say
satiety, weird words.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you eat a carb, like my son's doing so good right now, and I'm so proud of him. He has a lot of different bodily disabilities, including heart and blood, hearing impairment, lots of genetic disorders, and his hormone disorder causes him to gain a lot of weight. And he's been doing keto, which works for him only because it's easier. He works 12-hour shifts, so he just doesn't eat. So he's doing intermittent fasting,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
did work for me at one time until the steroid injections. And I think that those steroids got me off track somewhat. And I had a colonoscopy that went bad
Oh, wow.
where I regurgitated in the operating room or the procedure room. And so that was scary. And I stopped drinking water. So that was a downfall for me because I was drinking 6 16-ounce bottles of water per day.
That's
I was
awesome.
I was walking. I was doing the keto at the time, but can't do that anymore because that gave me kidney stones. It works for a time. It works for a time, but you got to get back. You got to
Yes.
add some healthier foods and stuff. Um, but you will lose the weight. But anyway, that's what he's doing. So I'm really so proud of him. And so I have to increase my water. And I think that that's really important for everybody out there to be doing as well. There you go. Unfortunately, I have my coffee because I gotta stay awake. Um, I have insomnia, so but I did drink 2 bottles today of 16 point, what is it, 8 ounce. And so I don't go to bed till 4 in the morning. So I'll be drinking more. So Sandy, what advice would you give to someone over 50 who feels like it's too late? Like it's way too late for them to start their wellness journey. I know that you gave a little example of how you felt, and you felt that it was just, this is normal, this is your genetics, this is the way it is when you reach that age. I felt like that too. It was like I used to always battle looking in the mirror, never would want to be seen on camera. That's for sure. And and then just recently just did like what you said. Well, that's just me. I just turned 60 and okay, I got the middle coming up, the arms are getting big,
Yep.
the neck and the chin. That's just because I'm 60. No,
No,
no, it doesn't have to be that way.
that's
So,
right. And that's what I
yeah.
would say. I would say do your research. So if you, because there's a huge push right now for health and wellness in aging adults. We have a huge group of senior citizens in the baby boomers. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm a Gen Jones. If you don't know what Generation Jones is, I'm between those baby boomers and my husband's Gen X. So we're right there in that baby. I was born in 1963. So
Okay.
we're Gen Jones, all right? So we're a little bit of
Yes.
the baby boomers and a little bit of the Gen X. And but there's a huge population of baby boomers and Joneses and X's that are all in that retirement age. And so there's a huge push to us. Hey guys, look what, take this pill. You won't have joints. This will get rid of up. And I'm like, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. But if you research medical professionals and what they are talking about right now, menopause is a huge thing. And the things that my mom went through, and now I'm like, oh, she didn't have to. She didn't have to suffer through they yanked her off of hormones when the World Health Initiative said estrogen causes breast cancer. And
Right.
last week they took that warning label off and said we are backing up. That is not correct
I
information.
saw that. I saw that. And oh my goodness, my sister was on those years and years ago. And I saw that and I'd like more info on it. I went through menopause at 37
Yep,
because I
that,
had a hysterectomy.
yep.
So it's
Well,
been many years.
my mom was yanked off of that, and I saw her deal with so many things that I didn't realize that's what the cause of it was, the lack of hormones that she had been on after her hysterectomy. So I've researched that, but I've also researched this wellness plan and what feeding my body and exercising. So I would say do some research and know that it doesn't have to be that way. The other
Right.
thing I would say is don't be afraid to fail. If you
Right.
get on a health plan and you're doing great and then you fall off of it for a month, let me just tell you, it's easier to go back up the hill when you've only fallen a little way down than to fall all the way back down and a year later
And
try to
start
do it
again.
again. Just,
Yeah.
yes, I've been off. I have been eating terrible for a month, but it's not too late. Let me start back walking. Let me start eating my breakfasts again the way, whatever. Let me intermittent fast again. So don't be afraid to fail and get back up and do it again because
Yeah. And we need to give
everything is that way.
and we need to have grace for not only for others, but we have to have grace for ourselves too. I've even gone as far as saying to myself to talk myself into accepting. I mean, we should all accept ourselves, God accepts us the way that we are, but when we're starting to get a little sick, we really have to do something about it. We can't control other
Yep.
people, but we can control ourselves. But I've gone so far as to say, now wait a minute, let me look back on the pictures when I was in my 100, in 142. Oh, wow. I looked a lot older than I do now because my face is full and I don't have as many wrinkles because I'm fatter. And I thought, do I want to look younger or do I want to fit in my size 12 jeans? Because I remember when I had that accident and I was run over, I was wearing a size 12. Now you got to understand, I went from a 22 to a 12
That's awesome.
in 6 months. And I was so happy that I had size 12 jeans. Well, paramedics came and I was in shock, shaking uncontrollably, couldn't believe it. I thought I was on fire. The first thing I said to that paramedic is, "No, please do not cut these jeans." They were cutting them right up the leg.
My favorite jeans.
They were cutting them, and I'm like, "These are my only size 12 jeans, and I just did so much work." And I mean, he goes, "Ma'am, you have a lot more things to worry about. You just got run over, we're cutting the jeans." So, I mean, that's how
Oh my,
important it was to
yep,
me, right? So
yep.
I had to say to myself, or I didn't have to, but what I've been saying to myself is, lots of wrinkles on my face, or back up to a size 16, 14. What do I do? Well, it doesn't matter about the wrinkles,
Nope.
it matters about the health. And so you can always fix the wrinkles somehow with makeup and with some egg whites or dab it on the
Yes.
wrinkles,
That's right.
whatever.
Well, you know what? The wrinkles, we get to share our wrinkles. I know so many people who didn't make it to 62.
Oh, right.
And
Right.
I'm proud that I have these wrinkles.
Well, I
And
can't see them, so
the other thing I wanted to share was that in the push to help senior people be healthy, for so long, doctors would give us a pill. Oh, you
yeah.
got achy, you got restless legs, you got swollen knees. Let me give you something. And there are doctors now who are like, let's figure out what's causing that and see if we can
Mm.
stop that. And that's something that just opened my eyes. And I see my mother-in-law or my father-in-law, and I see them getting pushed pills. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, if we could change your diet, you might not have those achy joints, the restless leg. But it's a whole generational thing. It's a mindset that they trust what the doctor gives them, but it's just a Band-Aid.
Exactly, and we need to get out of that mindset, and the older that you are, my mom's 94, and she's just taking her pills, and she's just setting her ways to eat whatever she wants to eat, and I guess when you
Mhm.
get to 94, I guess
That
you can eat pretty much whatever you wanna eat,
that's right,
um,
that's right.
even though it's not healthy for you, but it still bothers me, and I'm just, getting to the point where I'm tired of all these additives in the foods. I telling my husband the other day when we were grocery shopping, and it took us forever because we read all the labels. I said, it's not necessary to put these things. That particular item right there, I could make at home with three ingredients.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be this way. It's because people don't have the time. They're working all the time. It's easier when we're retired, right? So,
Yep.
because I am too, I'm retired as well, and it's easier for us to make the stuff at home. But the young ones out there, they're just going to the grocery store, grabbing whatever they can, feeding their kids. I used to feed my kids lived on McDonald's chicken nuggets. When because I was busy, I was advocating at the schools, I was chaperoning, I was doing all kinds of things. And it wasn't until 10 years ago that I found out how bad that was. And wow, such regrets. And it's so much better if you can just shop for the good stuff and just read the labels and make a decision and, advocate for yourself and pray for your elderly family members because they are set in their own ways. My husband's parents were too. My mother-in-law was a huge cookie maker. And so it was cookies, cookies, cookies all the time. And their ingredients was what? Crisco Oleo.
Or
Oh my gosh. I mean, but they still live to their 90s, but still, they suffered a lot of pain and
and that's
dementia.
and we want to have quality of life to the end.
Exactly, exactly. And so, all right, so we're going to get on a new subject right now, and I want to ask you about your senior pageantry experience. This is very interesting to me. So,
So, go
what
ahead.
I was going to say is what drew you to the senior beauty pageants? I know that we talked about it a little bit. Um, and what have they taught you about confidence and visibility? I know you said something about makeup, that you enjoy doing that and everything. But what actually, I know that you touched a little bit about it earlier. What drew you into it per
So,
se?
um, that's easy. My mom was from Philadelphia and New Jersey, and so every year we watched the Miss America pageant. It was like, a Christmas show or something. Every time the pageant was on, we watched it and we pick our top 10, and everybody had a notepad. And
Yeah.
I wanted to be Miss America. I wanted to be Miss America. Well, I was a chubby kid. I grew up in a rural farming community in Minnesota. I mean, I tried to take ballet lessons and not enough people even signed up for a class for us to have a class.
Oh,
So, and that's why I'm a musician. I was in band and choir. So that was what I got to do, and 4-H and other things. But I always wanted to be in a pageant. So being a chubby girl, I was in high school, I was a little insecure. I did do theater and I was band and choir, like I said, but I never felt like I could get up on a stage and show myself and do that. I was never built like that. And so I when my husband and I settled here in Middle Tennessee, we live in Wilson County, which has the Wilson County Fair is one of the largest fairs in the southeastern United States. As a matter of fact,
wow.
it merged, the Tennessee State Fair was dying and it merged with our fair. So it's called the Wilson County Tennessee State Fair. And
Okay.
it's an amazing, amazing fair. And so they always have the little princess pageants and the fairest of the fair and the Mrs. pageant. Well, I'm like, oh, I could do the fair pageant. And I went and I checked. And at the time I was 57. And the category went from 21 to 55 and then 60 and
Oh,
above. And I'm like, wait, you're
wait.
skipping 5 years. And so I had
Right.
to wait till I was 60. Well,
Oh
that
my
just hit.
gosh.
That's the year I retired from high school before I went to teach at the college. And I'm like, I'm going to do the pageant. Right. So I signed up. And I'm like, I can walk across the stage in a pretty dress and be graceful. So I sign up and they're like, so it's talent. I was like, oh, evening gown, philosophy of life, and let's see, talent, evening gown, philosophy of life, and interview. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, this is a
geez.
whole lot. And so I went the week before and they taught us how to walk on the stage and what to, I had to have 3 different outfits. I was like, okay. So I got a song ready and there were supposed to be 4 of us that year, and one girl got sick that night, so there were only 3 of us. I'm like, "Yay! I'm gonna place first, second, third." Um,
Yeah.
and I won. And I was like, "Oh,
Geez.
yay." So I was Miss Wilson County and I'm doing things at the fair. And they're like, okay, tomorrow morning, you got to be at the farmer's breakfast. And I was like, okay, I love this. And they're like, and you've got to be in the state pageant to represent us. I'm like, oh, there's another pageant. So
Oh,
and it's a big deal. It's a 3-day event up in Crossville, which is kind of halfway between Nashville and Knoxville. And there's a banquet. There's professional judges that come in and interview us, and we rehearse and we have an opening number and the whole shebang. And I was loving every minute of it. And went to a rehearsal, learned how to do it. And the first year I did the senior pageant, I got Miss Congeniality and third
wow.
runner up. And I had no idea what I was doing. So I jumped into pageants. I did the Miss Franklin pageant and I did the Miss South Central area fairs of the fair. Miss Franklin, I got second runner up. South Central, I won. And then a friend of mine here in the town where I live does a pageant to raise money for youth football and cheerleading. And she said, please come do the Miss Greenhill pageant. And so I checked with the South Central Fair and I said, may I do another pageant while I'm reigning as yours? And they said yes. So
Oh,
I won.
nice.
So I won that, and they're sending me back to this. I went back to state last year as Miss South Central, and I'm going back this year. Last year I won first runner up. This year my goal is
Wow.
to win and go to nationals. But I
Ah,
have so many sisters. It's not like you think. Um, Younger pageants, there's often cattiness and
yeah.
judging and all of that. Well, let me just tell you, in a senior pageant, everybody has bat wings. Everybody has fat back, and everybody is supportive. You can do this, and they're all. It doesn't matter who wins. We all are so excited for
Right.
everybody. It is, and I have so many friends. I sing and dance with a group called the Tennessee Jewels, and we're all over 60, and we entertain at senior centers, and they're all part of the state pageant.
My gosh. So your talent was singing and dancing
I
or is
singing,
singing and
I
dancing?
sing, I dance with the group, but mine is solo singing. Yes.
Oh my goodness. And what are for an example, what are some of the others, what their talents are? Because I used to sing years ago. My mother was a singer on the radio back in the 40s, and she was offered a record deal, and her mom would not let her take that record deal. So then she met my dad, and then that's the history. That's over now. So,
Mhm.
but I used to sing until I had vocal cord surgery, and then
Oh,
I couldn't sing anymore. I mean, I can, but it's not the way that I used to sing.
right.
So if for say, not that I'm thinking about it, but if I was to think about going into a pageant or something, I wouldn't know what my talent would be. So if you can give us an example of what some of the other talents are that some of the other women have, that would be great.
So I've seen so many different things. And I watched the national pageant this year. And our current queen for Tennessee, her name is Terry Coulter. She's 64. She is a trainer, a fitness trainer. She used to be a bodybuilder. And she did a routine where she started out by singing Eye of the Tiger, but a ballad for him, dressed like Rocky. She puts the mic down, takes it off, and she did a jump rope routine where she dropped to the floor and did one-legged push-ups and jumped
Oh
back up.
my
And yeah,
gosh.
she was phenomenal. Um,
Wow.
the winner did sing this year. She came in first runner-up at the nationals. But the Miss Wilson County this year, her name is Cheryl Lewis. She's a wood turner. Do you know what that is?
No.
So
Is
she
that like a
takes
carving?
trees. Yes, she takes pieces of wood out of the forest, turns them into bowls and art. And
Nice.
so she put on her jacket and brought out her chainsaw, and she put all of her items on a table, and she wrote a poem about it, and she told a story about it in her poem, and then showed all of her pieces. And that was one thing. I've seen
That is
clogging.
amazing. Oh,
I saw
nice.
another friend of mine did a ballet. She put a portrait of her dad out on the stage and played a Dolly Parton song that he loved. And because she
Oh,
honored him, she danced to that. I've seen monologues. Um, I have seen comedy routines, um, but dancing and singing, twirling batons. You wouldn't
oh,
believe the number of
wow.
60-year-olds who can still twirl their batons. But yeah,
Yes.
piano playing, jazz, tap dancing, jazz singing, everything you can think of. We have a generation that can do it.
Wow, that is amazing. My mom was a majorette, and I have not ever seen, I mean, you only see that sometimes in parades. I don't know if they still have majorettes at football games.
So
The
depends
cheerleaders, if
on.
they do that.
They do, and especially around here. East Tennessee State University is known for their majorettes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm.
So that's nice to hear because, sometimes I'll post like a baton and
Yeah,
people will comment and say, "Oh, I remember that." Because it's like you don't hear about that today, but in the
they're still
bands,
there.
yeah, in the high
Well,
school
something I want to
bands.
share with you though about pageants for women over 60 is we say that we are at the age of elegance.
Yes.
So when you go
Yes.
to a senior pageant, we are at the age of elegance.
Yes. I agree. I mean, this is a very hard, for a lot of people, this is a very hard stage. So why not turn it into elegance? Why not turn it into something joyful and just get out there and make some friends? And so many people are sheltered and they just they don't leave their house and they're depressed. And I know a lot of people have different interests. I'm a painter, I'm an artist, and also I'm an herbalist. And so I do make my home remedies and I garden, and those are all my doing different. Because let me tell you, that did not take place until 2020. So the lockdowns were actually a blessing to a lot of people because they discovered themselves and they reinvented themselves. There are other things that cause people to reinvent themselves, maybe an estrangement from a child, empty nesting, whatever it is. Whatever is causing you to be depressed or to give up, don't do it, because you have so much more in life to give and so much to discover, and find your talents and your abilities, just do it. That's my motto, just do it. So
Absolutely.
now, how do you prepare for the pageants? I know. Now let's go back to before the Galveston diet, because you've been doing pageantry since before
Since
that time.
before. Hmm.
What would you do? And I know that you walk now and you work out. So my question is on how do you prepare physically for the pageant? So now we know that you walk and you work out, but what about mentally and spiritually? What do you do before you actually go out there and step out on stage? Because some people have stage fright. And like, I never thought that I'd ever be speaking in front of a camera and posting the podcast publicly, because I had stage fright until I went to college at 54 and did speech. And I was like, "Ooh, I like this. This is fun." Especially online, because you don't have to sit in front of a whole bunch of
An
students
audience. Yep.
and look at their faces and their reactions. It's a lot easier online when you don't see anybody.
Right.
But yeah, how do you prepare for that, mentally and spiritually?
So, in college, I was a vocal performance major, which means I sang opera. And yes, and so then as a teacher, I was the high school choir director. So I was always talking to an audience. But what was hard for me was 22 years of my back to the audience while I'm conducting. I'm now going to turn around and sing again, and it scared me to death. So at the first pageant, I was shaken and scared, and I sang. But what I've learned, and is that number one, I think I'm going to get nervous just like I used to in college, but I don't anymore, because it doesn't matter if I win or lose. What matters is that I get out there and do it and
Right.
enjoy it. But I'm just going to tell you the answer to it is practice, 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 practice. And my son is a country music artist, and he performs all over the world.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm like, don't,
What's his name?
his name is Kyle Elliott.
Kyle
Kyle
Elliott.
Elliott, please
Okay.
look him up. He just got back from England and Wales last week, and he plays in Vegas multiple times a year. He plays right here in Nashville 6 to 8 times a week.
My
He comes to Florida
goodness.
all the time.
Does
So
he?
he does. He does. He goes, he's got a club in Jacksonville he plays at regularly. He goes down to Fort Lauderdale all the time, plays in Daytona.
Nice.
He did a tour of retirement centers a couple years ago.
Does he
He
have
has
any albums that or, I
he
don't know.
does.
Do they
You
call
can
them albums anymore, or they call them covers?
EPs, extended plays, EPs, but his music
Yeah.
is available on Apple, on Spotify, on Pandora. Anything you listen to, you can find him. Just look up Kyle Elliott, and he is a country
Nice.
music artist. But I would say to him, Bob, aren't you nervous? And he goes, I don't get scared anymore, Mom. I'm like, okay. He's like, because I'm so prepared. I've done it so much. He said,
And he's
you need
doing what he loves to do.
True, but he said to me, "You need to do it so many times in your practice that you don't have to think about the words and the breathing anymore. It's all
Yeah.
about just letting it go once you get out there." So here's my child giving me the advice on how to be
Wow.
successful, but it's I practice my philosophy of life speech over and over and over and over again. It has to be timed. If you go over 30 seconds, you lose points. So you're like, do it again.
Oh, wow. That's nerve-wracking.
Yes, very much so. I walk around the house in my gowns and my shoes. I practice my turns. I have pages with hundreds of questions for interviews, and I read them and say the answers out loud while I'm driving down the road in my car.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's still about practicing. Um, but again, once you get out there, it's fun. It's like, here we go. Let's just do it. You're like nervous until you walk out there, and then you just
Right,
do it. Because yes, we all want to win, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world. It's another
right.
experience that I was successful at.
Exactly. So that's awesome. What's one moment from a pageant that made you feel especially proud or powerful? Now, I know with the ones that you've won, that is how obviously that you must have felt that you were very proud and powerful. But um is there another moment besides actually, I mean, I know that you were a runner up in one of them. Is there, can you give us an example of what made you feel especially proud or powerful other than being the winner, because obviously it comes with being the winner. But how about
Right.
any other experience or moment?
I do have one, and it's kind of funny though. It's not as much about empowering as it is unique. So many pageant people are all about their hair. How are you going to wear it up? How are you going to curl it? And so I'm in a pageant, and they're like, "Ladies, would you turn, please, so the judges can see the back of your dress and your hair?" So I turn around, and I'm like, "And guess who
That's
won?
great.
Guess who won best hair?"
No
And so
way.
I was like, "You're kidding." So my hair is all shaved underneath and short in the
I
back.
love it. I love
Thank
your
you.
hair.
Well, and so do judges, but I don't think I'm like, "Look at, they've curled their hair and they're wearing it up and mine just looks like this." And I guess I love it because my hairstylist and I have finally got it down to where this is me. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And by the way, people stop me everywhere I go and say, "Your hair is so cute. Can I take a picture?" I'm like, "Yes, go ahead." I'm used to it. But I've always thought, "Oh, I don't have pageant hair," right? When I'm in these
Oh,
pageants. So
right.
that was a huge moment for me to win best hair. And I was like, "Wow, I love it." And I'm very
That's
thankful.
amazing.
I have great hair thanks to my mom and dad, and I am so grateful and blessed to have my hair.
I did have my hair short like yours when I was well, it was before I had kids. I decided to dye it brown. I'm a natural blonde, but I decided to just do something different. And I dyed it brown and I cut it very similar to yours, but it wasn't as nice and full on the top. But I look just like my mom because my mom is a brunette with brown eyes. And well, besides my blue eyes, I looked a lot like my mom. And my husband didn't care one way or the other, what color hair that I had or if it was long. But I went from Farrah Fawcett hair down to
Oh.
here, all feathered back, because that's how I wore my hair. I still wear it like that. It's all piled up right here. Um,
Mhm.
but I had it shaved in the back and on the sides and
Yep,
dyed brown, and I absolutely loved it, and it's so much easier to take care of too.
yep,
But it looks
so
great on
easy.
you, and you're tall. I think you're tall because
I
I did see some of your pictures on Facebook, and I'll be doing some edits with putting this together. And how tall are you?
5'7".
Nice. That's how
So,
tall my daughter is.
and then when I put my pageant shoes on, I'm 5'10".
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my daughter didn't get her height from me. I'm 5'2". She must have got it from her dad and his side of the family because we're all very short people on my side of the family. So she got it from his side and she's just beautiful. Um, you have to take a look at my Facebook profile sometime
I
and
will.
check out, but she does not, she has those nice long legs. She would have been great in pageants, but she's
Mhm.
a high school math teacher. So
Yep, that's all right. I have a friend who's a high school geometry teacher, and she's 42, and she does pageants.
that's a hard job. Teaching high
Mhm.
school, I think, is really hard. So now, what about, well, you know what? Tell us about your experience in the choir, speaking about high school, and what role does music play in your life now? And before you retired, I mean, you're still doing some choir work right now, correct?
Actually, I'm not. I said, no
Oh,
choir. I need a break. So I didn't sing in a choir at all while I was teaching, because teaching choir is a 60-hour a week job.
wow.
I started the high school where there was just one class, and when I left, we had 5 choirs, over 250 kids in the program.
Oh my
Oh, yes.
gosh.
Rehearsals every day after school, concerts, performances. So I didn't have time to sing. Um, and so I'm not singing in a choir right now. I'm actually playing in a community band and taking private voice lessons again.
Oh, nice. What instrument do you play?
I play French horn.
Oh, you do? Do you know that I was it was called Fireettes. I was 13 and you had to pick an instrument, and that's the one that I chose. But I
Nice.
gave up. I completely gave up on the Fireettes because it caused a red ring around my mouth from blowing that horn, and it got all chapped and up in Maine in the winter time, and it was
Yep.
itching. I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done.
It's
I can't do this anymore."
it's funny you say that, because the other day I did a Makes Me Mad Monday after I'd been practicing my horn, and I was like, oh, I can see the ring around my lips.
Yeah, and when it's cold out and you're up in a northern, area, I mean,
Oh
those
yeah.
chapped lips,
Crack open.
you
Yeah.
they well, yeah, and they itch and they're reddish, and so but it's funny you say that. I really did like the French horn, and that was the one I chose. My son, he was in marching band in high school and he played trumpet.
Mhm.
And he just sold his trumpet not too long ago. He plays so good, but he also plays tin whistle and he
Oh,
likes
nice.
that a lot better. Yeah. So has singing helped you connect with others or with
So yes.
yourself in new ways?
So primarily with others, and even though I'm not singing in a choir, which I probably will again someday, but right now I just needed a break from choir. But um, Tuesday this week, my son and I are going to sing for a senior citizen group, and they had booked me a year ago. They're like, hey, we know you sing, and I had taken the college choir there. And they're like, could you come do a 30-40 minute show for us? And I was like, that's a lot of music.
Yeah.
So summer before last, I put together my life in song, and I
Oh,
sang my and told the whole story of my life, all the way up to my pageants, and sang some of my pageant songs. And so they've asked me to come back, and I said, well, I'll be happy to come sing a few songs, but I have a suggestion. What if I bring my son with me? He's an artist. Well, they looked him up, and let me just tell you, he is billed as the performer for Tuesday's show. I'm like, wait,
no
am I
way.
not?
Oh my
Am I singing? Am
gosh.
I still singing? So I'm
So
gonna
you
sit.
don't perform together. You don't, he plays
No,
guitar, you sing. You don't do that kind
so
of.
we don't have time to. We would. So I'm gonna sing a couple songs and introduce him. Then he's gonna sing for probably about 30 minutes, 30-40 minutes, and then we're gonna sing a Christmas song together at the end.
Oh, so nice because I know that your genres in music differ.
Mhm.
So
Yep. When he
he's
was
country, right? He's
He's
country
country.
artist.
When he said he wanted to be a country music artist, I'm like, "I'm sorry, bub, I can't help you. I don't know anything about that side of the industry." So, I love country music, and I can't sing it very well, but I love it, but I didn't know how he was supposed to get into it or what he had to do, so he's done it all on his own.
Wow, that is amazing. I have a niece, Autumn June, and she performs down here in all kinds of different venues. She's been doing it for years now. She's in her 40s and she's got her posters and she's
Mhm.
released a few songs on Spotify and stuff like that. But yeah, she sings at whole different all kinds of genres,
Yeah.
country and everything. My mom was a country performer, so
Wow.
country music. So I have some of her, back then in the 40s, they had machines that would actually make your albums for you. Just
Yes.
like like in the 80s, we could record a cassette.
Mhm.
And back then, they actually had record maker machines. They were 78s.
Mhm.
And, I have like she's got a stack about this big of
Wow.
her singing, and so
Wow,
I've
that's a
inherited.
gift. That is such a
Yes,
gift.
yes, yes, and she regrets that her mom didn't let her go and do what she needed to do, but you know what? It wasn't meant, because then I wouldn't be here. So
That's right. That is right.
What is something that you've tried recently? Something new that you've tried recently that we haven't talked about, that surprised you?
Okay, so when you said that we haven't talked about, that one kind of throws me because the weightlifting is something new that I
Okay.
hadn't so weightlifting, because I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm like, I need a
Okay, so
trainer.
that's more recent. I know, I forgot that we had talked about that part, so that'll count. That's fine.
Yes.
So
So
the
weightlifting,
weightlifting.
yes. I had never done weightlifting before. You know, you go to the gym and you get on the machines, right? So
Yeah,
no, I'm doing the weights, and um, my son has worked out and is very fitness conscious, so he's helped me a little. And then Dr. Gabriel Lyon's book is very helpful, and she has videos on how to lift. But I'm going to talk with the trainer at the gym that I go to and get him to give me some feedback because I don't want to injure myself. I
right.
want to do like there's like different ways to do different kinds of squats depending on if you want your quads or glutes. So that really has surprised me that I love it. I
Yeah.
and and I got little muscles coming up in my
I
arms
oh,
and
that is so
shoulders. I was like, oh.
awesome. That is so awesome, and it's a good thing that you don't have, or do you have any back problems or neck problems or anything like that?
No, I don't have any problems like that, no issues.
So you
So,
definitely need to be careful and you need to make sure that you're not lifting too much.
yep.
But it sounds like you're doing pretty good, you know. I've heard of women bench pressing. And like you gave an example of that one woman who was a powerhouse with her
Yeah.
weightlifting, you
Hmm.
know, and so a lot of people do that. I would probably crumble because I do have spondylosis and, you know,
Goodness.
neck problems and all kinds of stuff, but there's no reason why you can't work with resistant bands. If
That's
there's
right.
somebody out there that can't work with weights,
That's right.
resistant bands are good. If you can't walk, vibrate plates are good. But just do it. Just keep
Well,
moving, and weights and resistant bands are building your muscle, and
yep.
building muscle means burning fat.
And
So that
protecting your
helps.
bones. Muscle protects
Protecting
your
your bones.
bones. We don't
That's
want
right.
sarcopenia, which is when our muscles deteriorate, and it protects us from osteoporosis if we build our muscles.
Yes, which I already have, unfortunately, but it doesn't mean that, because that runs in my family as well, but it doesn't mean that I can't strengthen my core and I can't support that a lot better, you know? So that's something that I am definitely, I've got my resistant bands over there and I actually do them while I'm standing on the vibrate plate. So that helps me
Very
as
good.
well. So, how do you stay open to change and growth even after decades of routine? All of this, your Galveston diet's been 15 months, the weightlifting, how long has it been with the weightlifting?
I joined my gym in July.
Oh my goodness. So how do you continue to be open to that and to growth after decades of the old routine?
Right. Well, first of all, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to fail, but don't be afraid. And I have always been one who steps out on faith. So
Yeah.
somebody will say, hey, do you want to lead this new program for us? I'm like, sure. Okay. Unless God lays it on my heart that that's not the right road. And I've had that too. Somebody's like, hey, I have this opportunity for you. And I'm like, oh, well, let me think about it. And that immediately tells me right there, I'm not supposed to go down that road. But when somebody says, hey, do you want to do a pageant? I'm like, yeah, I want to do a pageant. Let's go. And
Right.
I'm not an overthinker. I do not like, okay, what happened? Nope. I just jump. And
Yeah,
if I fail, what did I learn from it? Do I want to do it again? Do I want to try to be successful? Do I want to take the path to the right more instead of going back down it?
right.
I mean, why?
You don't
One of the
analyze. You don't
no,
analyze it and churn it over and over. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Something might happen. You just do it.
just do it. And my whole life has been that way. Um, I'm like, I'm going to start a men's choir, when I was teaching, and they're like, okay. And I'm like, so I just did, never done one before in my life. And you just have to do it. You'll figure it out. You will
Yeah,
figure it out. And so I'm not afraid. I mean, my sister Cheryl and I just got back from New York City,
I
and we
saw
had
that.
we decided last year, it was the Rockettes' 100th anniversary. We're like, let's go. I'm like, okay. And my husband's like, I don't think New York is a good place to be right now. Maybe you shouldn't go to New York. And I'm like, we'll be fine. We're going. Now, do we keep our head on a swivel? Are we aware of our surroundings? Do we make sure we don't go where we shouldn't? Absolutely. But we had the best time and it was fantastic. And I would have missed that if I had been afraid.
Had you been afraid. And back then when you made the reservations, you didn't know what was going to be going on with the government shutdowns and with
Oh,
all of the air traffic controllers and all of the stuff that was going on. So you could have easily got spooked and you could have
mhm.
canceled.
That,
And
I did sit it. Yeah.
I was praying for you guys because I was following you and I was watching you on Facebook and I was like, oh, Cheryl, Sandy, please be careful. You're both, women out there in New York. And it was awesome that you got to walk in front of the library, was it? That was
Yes.
on
Oh,
the day after
I
tomorrow.
know. We went all through that library. We went on all
Oh
the
my
floors.
gosh. My son loves that movie and we've
I do
watched it
too.
so many times. I thought that was so cool when you showed that on
Mhm.
your video. And then and I asked Cheryl, said, so did you go so that you could see the tree get all lit up? She goes, no, it's too early for that. I said, but I saw that they just had it delivered from a farm. And she says, no, they haven't decorated it yet.
It's
So
there, but it's behind scaffolding. So we were peeking.
thought it
Um,
was so cool that sisters could do that together, get away, just the two of you, go explore. Oh my
oh,
gosh.
and let me tell you, we took the subway everywhere. We went the wrong way one day, and it's okay because they go back. But
Oh my gosh. That I have to say, speaking for myself, I probably would have been nervous. I probably because I am the kind of person that just do it. I do
Mhm.
that. But then once I'm there, I wonder, did I do the right thing? And
Yes.
so I love your attitude about just doing it. And I'm so glad that Cheryl got on board with that as well. And I love what she's doing too in her life doing different. And I had her on the show. I don't know if you got to see it. I think it was a couple months ago. Maybe it was like 6 weeks ago. She talked about colorfully curated.
Yeah,
And
I wasn't available to watch that. No, when she
oh,
did
well,
that.
you'll have to go
I'll
back
have to go
on and
back.
take a look
Mhm.
at it. She did wonderful, and I just love her new business and it's
Mhm.
wonderful. And I gotta get matched. I gotta get matched for the colors. And
Yes.
so I'm constantly reposting the podcast, and promoting her on my other groups that she's part of. Doing Different with Kimmy is a group that I have on Facebook
Mhm.
that correlates to all of my podcasts, and we can talk about the podcast, we can ask questions, we can talk about books. I have an author and speaker and podcaster group as well to talk about books, and I have book giveaways. And I have all kinds of different giveaways. I have an art class too, so you might want to check that out sometime
I
too.
will.
'Cause that's my doing different. Um, so let's go to the next question here, which is, what do you hope younger women or your peers take away from your story today?
I hope that they don't judge themselves by the way they look or what you've done in the past, but that you become the best friend that you can be to yourself. And I heard
Mm.
somebody say one time, are you the best friend to yourself? So, have you ever had that friend who you're like, hey, come to the gym with me, and they back out? Hey, I'm going out to eat, come with me, and they back out. And so you stop asking them. So when you say to yourself, I'm going to the gym today, and you back out, you're letting yourself down. And
Yeah.
so that has been a way for me to be consistent. It's not so much about being motivated. Everybody gets motivated and then it disappears. But being consistent in everything I do, practicing my horn, practicing my voice, walking every day, going to the gym every Tuesday and Thursday. And that's because I'm doing it for me. I'm trying to be the
Yeah.
best friend I can be. And that's what I would hope that other people take away from what I'm sharing. I'm also trying to get them to research. I'll share a tidbit about hormone therapy, or I'll share a tidbit about foods and the benefits of the chia seeds or whatever. Go research it. Go research it. Learn for
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, absolutely. That is so, so good. Be your own best friend.
Mhm.
Because we all know what it's like to have that friend cancel on us. And why do we do it to ourselves, you know? Because we do have to better ourselves and so that we can be a friend to somebody
Yes.
else and so that we can uh, be our best at everything that we do. So if you could go back and whisper something to your 40-year-old self, what would that be?
Those two things I would say.
Oh,
Moist
okay.
Moisturize your neck and your earlobes.
Earlobes,
My
really?
earlobes started getting wrinkly and saggy, and so moisturize neck and
Oh,
earlobes. You know what I
you
mean?
know, I did notice that about myself, and my earrings hurt. If my
Mhm.
earrings are too heavy, they actually start to hurt my
Yes.
earlobes. And I used to notice when I was younger, older people's earlobes always had a line.
Line. I got it. It's
I got
there,
it
and I
too
went
now. I got it
moisturize,
too.
moisturize. Those so moisturize your neck and your earlobes, and then I would say, don't drink.
Yes, and don't smoke.
No, well, I've never smoked, but I was talking to a young lady today, my son's girlfriend. I was talking to her today, and I said, you know, when we were growing up, we knew that alcohol killed brain cells, and we're like, oh, I can spare a few brain cells. You can have some, but alcohol is a carcinogen and causes
Yes.
cancer. If you had scared me to death at 18 and told me that alcohol causes cancer,
Yeah.
I would have never I might have had a glass of wine at a wedding for a toast, but I
Yep.
wouldn't have socially been a drinker. And you know, I'm not abusive with alcohol, but I liked to go on a cruise and drink the whole time and have a good time. Now, when I go on a cruise, I might have a glass of wine with a special meal or frozen drink out at the beach, but not all
Right.
day, every day. When
Right.
in that social party mode. I don't need it. It's bad for my body, it's bad for my brain, and I just wish I had known. I guess maybe somebody told me and I just ignored them, but I wish I had
Right.
heard myself more and know more earlier.
Well, when you started doing research on how to be healthy, this is what you learn. You learn
Yep.
these things. And I've always heard, though, that red wine is supposed to be really good for your heart. And I know my in laws drank a glass of red wine every night with their dinner. And I thought to myself, well, when I drank a glass of red wine, I had the worst migraine headache. Immediately upon 2 sips of a glass of red wine, my head is just pounding, and that's
Mhm.
because it opens up,
Yep.
the arteries or the
Think
veins,
so.
whatever it is, and so I've heard that it's good for you, but it isn't good for everybody, and if it's got carcinogens in it, then it definitely is not good for you,
Well, they're
and
now saying no alcohol. Not one glass. They've
oh,
taken that off the whatever,
well,
whoever
that's
makes
good.
that. Yep,
That's
none.
good, and how good is it that also there is no smoking in restaurants, no smoking in buses,
Hotels.
subways, hotels? How great is that? I remember, well, I grew up in a household that everybody smoked, but that
Yep,
was
me too.
then, But going to a restaurant with my kids back in the 90s, there was smoke, and it was like back then they had put
Smoking section.
smoking sections but you could still smell it, you know. So
Yeah.
things are getting a little better, with
Oh,
society.
much better. I can remember both my parents smoked when we were growing up. And
Yeah.
like I said, we grew up in Minnesota. So they'd be smoking in the car and we'd crack our window in the back and try to breathe. So it
Yeah.
was 30 below zero, you know?
Oh yeah, so we both grew up with secondhand smoke, which they say is the
Yep.
worst, right?
Yep.
But my goodness sakes. Well, Sandy, what is next on your doing different list?
So I am in the process of getting registered to become a certified nutritionist.
Nice.
So here's the thing. So I had all my degrees. I have 3 master's degrees and all this in education and music. And in the world of education in the collegiate world, you're recognized by your degree. You become a full-time professor or whatever. And my generation, you trust somebody who's certified.
Yeah.
But my son's generation, he said, Mom, you don't have to have a degree to be an expert.
Right.
You can have
Right.
years of he's an expert at what he does in his music field. He has a degree. He has a degree in electronic media, but he's an expert in country music, in
Yes.
writing songs, in how to get a crowd involved. He's an expert, and I would trust him and ask him for advice. He said, "You don't have to be an expert to be knowledgeable in nutrition." But I feel like people won't listen to me
Oh,
unless I have that certificate. Yes, they'll say, "Oh, I'm so glad you researched that. I'm glad you know that." But if I say, "Hey, I'm a certified nutritionist. Let me give you a meal plan." I listened to my father-in-law and stepmother-in-law talk about what they eat during the day. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, don't eat that. No, don't eat."
yeah.
Or they wait till 4 o'clock and go, "What are we going to eat for dinner?" I'm like, "You don't know? You don't know what you're having for dinner?" And then they throw corn dogs in the oven. Please let me sit down with you and do a menu for the week. You can cook
Yeah.
it, but I'll shop for you. I'll go with you and help you shop. I want people to know that it's not too late to eat healthy, that you'll feel better every day if you've had a salad and grilled chicken and with your dinner instead of corn dogs and french fries in
Oh,
the oven.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I wanna know as much as I can so I can help people, and I don't have to have a job at it, but if you trust me because I have a certificate and
Yes.
I've been trained by professionals who have even more knowledge than I do, then maybe they'll listen more and maybe I can change their lives.
Well, don't give up because, the more that you speak out, the more people will listen. It takes time, even with the certification sometimes, but you're right. Sometimes people do tend to listen more. Are you looking into a specific program to do that? Have you
So
started yet?
I haven't started because, there are multiple ones out there, and some of them are extremely expensive. The other thing is this is the slow season for my husband, and I don't wanna put any stress financially on our accounts,
Yeah.
until we're through the slow season.
Yeah.
It's about $2,500, but it's
Okay.
all online, and I can do it in my own time. I can probably finish it in 6 weeks with my schedule.
That's awesome.
I'm looking at NASM, which is where like fitness trainers get certified. They have a nutrition program. And then once I get certified, I can go in and take courses on seniors and nutrition and seniors, which is what I really want to focus on.
Yeah, and not only that, but look how that's so needed in the
Yes,
assisted living facilities and the nursing
absolutely.
homes. I
Mhm.
mean, my goodness, I hope that they do have people like that on staff.
They
Uh,
do. I
I
don't
would
want a
hope.
job.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I don't want a
So,
job. It's at all. I'm fine.
yeah.
But I don't
You
want to
just
work. I
wanna
want to.
have that's just something that you wanna do on the side that you feel that you believe in, that's working for you, and you wanna
Yes.
share it with somebody else.
I wanna help somebody else experience what I experience.
Right, and that's the drive, and that's what I'm doing when I'm doing my doing different with Kimmy is trying to I what I went through in the past 6 years was something that I wish nobody had to go through, and I didn't have that support, and I didn't have not even one friend. And it was, excruciating. It really was. It was such a lonely place. And now I said to myself, "This isn't gonna happen." I can't stop it from happening to other people, of course, but I want other people to be able to share their experiences, their voice, their concerns, their worries. I don't want people to feel so alone. I thought I was the only person that was feeling that way. There's a lot of people like you were talking about with the menopause. A lot of people think they're going crazy.
Yes.
Nobody, there must be me. I have something psychologically wrong with me. I'm
Mhm.
going mental. I'm going insane. But to know that there are other people that are going through the same thing, and especially if your husbands can know that they're not alone,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
it's not just their wife that's acting crazy or throwing off the blankets because
Yep.
she's, having a
Hot flash.
hot flash or or she's cold or whatever, um, you know, we fight all the time over here. Not fight, but we go back and forth with the thermostat.
Thermostat.
Because being in Florida, I'm always hot and I'm always wishing that it would just be cold. We had a whole week of cold down here and it was
Yes,
so
you did.
nice.
I know.
It was really nice. But he hates the cold. So we're constantly going back, but men need to know, and that their wives are not the only ones that are going through something like this, and other women need to know. And
Yes,
so what you're doing is phenomenal. I think it's great. I think nutrition also helps when you're going through menopause.
absolutely.
You probably need that hormone replacement therapy. I'm going to take another look at it because it could probably help. But nutrition is very important because when your blood cells are not working properly, your DNA, the core, everything is not, you need to do something good for yourself. And like I said, just do it. And I'm
Good.
so thankful for you. I am so thankful for you sharing your story. And I hope for our listeners that they will be encouraged from this and equipped and inspired to face their own challenges with renewed hope and faith. And it was such a pleasure speaking with you today, Sandy.
You
And
too.
oh, you so welcome. And for my listeners out there, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this podcast so that it will reach as many women as possible. Because the only way that it's going to reach others is with that algorithm by sharing it and liking it
I
and
can.
subscribing. And that's the only way that others are going to, yay. And I know you mentioned it today on Facebook too. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to get the word out for other women to not feel so alone. And so, all the links and all the emails and the links will be provided in the description of the podcast below, including mine and Sandy's. And also, if you are a woman over the age of 50 and you have a story to share and a passion to ignite or wisdom to impart, I would love for you to join me on my podcast. And until next time, keep doing different. Bye bye.